All right, so welcome everyone to another episode of Nutrastrong Campfire Nutrition. We're so happy today to be joined by Diana Morgan, who is the founder of a very special organization called What's Up with Supps, and also the head of scientific and regulatory affairs of the dietary supplement direct-to-consumer company Care of. So Diana, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us today.
Hey, Will, thanks so much for having me on here. I'm a huge fan of Nutrisource and the whole Nutrastrong initiative. So,
There we
uh,
go.
looking forward to our chat today and telling you all the awesome things we have going on.
Fantastic. So first out of the gate, as the founder of What's Up with Supps, how did this idea come about? What was the thinking behind it? And when did you kind of just make the decision, I'm going to go for this?
Yeah, so the idea for What's Up with Subs actually started a really long time ago, probably over about 6 years ago, when I was at Pfizer Consumer Healthcare. My boss at the time was interested in retiring, and I thought, well, hey, she's been in the industry forever. I've worked for a lot of dietary supplement companies in New Jersey. I have a lot of contacts. It would be really fun to do just a dietary supplement picnic in honor of her retirement. That didn't end up panning through at the time. And then fast forward 3 years later, getting the call the week of March 8th when Expo West got canceled in 2020. I
Mhm.
was devastated, like many. I wanted to see my industry family, my industry friends. I had a list of people that I wanted to see. And it was that by the end of that week, I had called up Ivan Wasserman and I said, hey, what do you think about holding an in-person networking event for the dietary supplement industry? This was during COVID, and I wanted to make sure that everybody felt safe and they were in a comfortable environment, but also we're still able to have those organic in-person connections. So
Mhm.
that was March. Fast forward to September 2020. That's when we held the very first What's Up with Sups in-person networking event in Totowa, New Jersey at Sushi Lounge. It was outdoors. There was enough room for social distancing. We kept it small, and everyone had a great time. I do remember the first person that I saw shout all the way to the other end of the room to somebody else, I can't believe you're here. And it was just really
Mm.
heartwarming, really nice to see that spark again.
And how many people came out for that initial event in New Jersey?
Yeah, that one was about 40 people. And,
Okay.
that was the first event. What I did is I actually emailed a ton of people ahead of time, telling them about the idea, the measures that we have in place to make sure everyone felt safe, was in a safe environment. And I remember the first positive response I got back was from Dan DiMarino from Deerland Probiotics and Enzymes. He said, I'm in. I can't wait to see my industry family. And that's really how I felt. And I think how a lot of people felt during that time. So, that was 40 people. Fast forward a year later, our last event at Supply Side West had about 400 attendees.
Yes. So from that time frame, from 40 to 400, obviously, even with my math skills, I know that it's 10 times. So from there, how did it go from 40 to 400? Take us through that journey a little bit. What did you see? What kind of uptake? What happened to have that kind of momentum after a year?
Yeah. So the in 1 year where we went from 40 to 400, it was an amazing whirlwind. And I think what people are seeing is that we need these in-person connections. Virtual is really great for doing, one-on-one meetings or, webinars, but it's really hard to have that in-person connection be the same virtually. You pick up on different types of nonverbal cues, you pick up on people's energies just being in the same room as them. And,
Mhm.
we as, a human, it's just our human nature. We need to have that in-person connection. So, in addition to that, the events are really, they're non-competitive. We don't have any agenda. We really just try to make it as fun as possible and getting to the root of making organic connections, because You do better work with people you like. And we have an amazing industry. A lot of the people that are in the industry really have that strong passion for the innovation, for just growing this industry to, keep doing amazing things. And that is what has really fueled What's Up with Sup's growth, is having that non-competitive environment where people are able to just get at the base level of making human connections.
Yeah, wonderful. And I think it was a big gap, and nothing like that existed in our industry before What's Up with Subs to this extent, to this way, in a sustained manner. So, absolutely agree with you. And then talk a bit about some of the themes that were put out, because it's not just, hey, get to go together over hors d'oeuvres and a couple drinks and say hi. There's a little more structure than that, even though it is informal. Tell us a little bit about some of the themes.
Yeah, so I love doing different types of themes. I love everything, FX makeup and, very big and theatrical. So, a few of the different themes we've had at one of the NBJ events last summer. We had body painted models to look like mermaids. It was very beachy, coastal, and I went with the theme of having it in the beautiful location of San Diego. Then I know the one that you went to, Will, at Supply Side West. That
Mhm.
one was during Halloween. Halloween is by hands down my favorite holiday. I love everything FX and costumes and everything that goes along with that. So that one was Halloween theme. We had different stations that had characters from Halloween movies of your childhood. So we had Chucky giving out little bottles of Fireball. We had Jason in one corner. We had Freddy in another corner. We had Michael Myers in another corner. So it really gave those feel good nostalgia vibes, but also had the fun element of Halloween. So those were just two of some of the themes that we had. I have a pretty cool theme going on for Expo West, which is all around electricity, neon, 90s themes. So think like break dancers, graffiti, and bring back the 90s culture, which most of us grew up with.
Hmm. Absolutely. Looking forward to that big time. And to that end, then in Anaheim, uh, just like in Vegas, is there going to be any costume or push to dress up in some sort of way? I know it's pretty open and fluid and free as to what you can wear whatever you want pretty much to What's Up with Subs party. But is there any theme going on? Any contests going on?
Yeah, so, like I said, I do love makeup and costumes, and going along with the electric theme, it will be partially glow in the dark. So we will have black lights. I'm encouraging attendees to wear anything neon. So think things that glow in the dark. So bright colors, white glows really nicely under black lights. And then as far as the talent and entertainment, I do have some aerialists that will be performing. Also, some of our break dancers and LED hoop artists will also be body painted in glow in the dark paints. We will also have the option for attendees to get a little bit of glow in the dark body paint if they choose so. So yes, definitely. You know me well. You know that there's always some sort of twist to it.
Fantastic. And then in Vegas, I was actually surprised because it was the first one I was able to attend in person as to how many people actually dressed up and participated on the costume side. Does that shock you, or are you like, no, this is how we roll?
Yeah, it doesn't really shock me. We're all kids at heart. We in this industry, I feel like everyone is so passionate and is young-hearted and just really wants to have a really good time. And just because we're not kids anymore doesn't mean that we can't dress up and have fun. And it's just bringing those feel-good vibes, and not having to wear a suit and tie, because it's not an event where we really want that that suit and tie mentality. I want to see you, out in the weekend. I want to see you for you, and like learn about you, the personality behind what you do for your day job.
No, for sure. And then the venue in Anaheim, how big is this one going to get, do you think? You've gone from 40 to 400. What's the next step here?
Yeah, so we have the entire nightclub. It's closed to the public on Wednesday. So the venue itself, which is about a 10-minute walk from the Expo Center, is in downtown Disney. It holds up to 1,200 people. And we do have the indoor and outdoor area for people that don't feel comfortable being indoors. And that said, given that the capacity is 1,200, I do want to limit it to about a little bit less than half that capacity to allow for social distancing, to allow for the entertainers, to allow for various different props that we'll need to make the event really successful. So it's not going to be crammed at all, and it'll have that nice flow of, having space for everyone.
Wonderful. And then when it comes to the tickets, where can folks get tickets if they're attending the show?
Sure. Well, you can go right to whatsupwithsupps.com, and I have a link in there to the Eventbrite page where you can purchase tickets. Also, if anyone wants to email me, just diana@whatsupwithsupps.com. I can also get that taken care of for you. And then also, I do have links available on the Instagram page and LinkedIn pages. So happy to work with anyone. If anyone else wants to get involved, or if anyone has any questions on the event, I am free to chat.
Super. And then as the founder and entrepreneurial spirit behind What's Up with Supps, how do you see this going into the future? What are the future plans? As you grow the venues and grow the number of attendees, that doesn't seem to, even as we come out of COVID for the most part, or it seems to, we're starting to anyways, in most jurisdictions across the world. Do you see that people might get event fatigue, or do you see this continuing to build? And how do you plan to build it into the future?
That's a great question. I don't think people will get event fatigue because it's unlike anything else. It's not, I can't really classify it as a trade show, and I can't classify it as a concert. And that's where my mantra, party with purpose, comes from. Because, like I mentioned before, I want to get to know the real you, the you on the weekends, the you that's, outside of Nutrasource. And one of my big passions, in addition to the networking piece, is mentorship. I have such a strong passion for mentorship, and it all spurred back to having a really great mentor in my previous career. So, when you have a really great mentor, you get that passion for it, and you understand how to pass it on and how to develop others. And one area I would like to use the What's Up with Supps platform for is to bring that younger talent into the industry and strengthen them and strengthen their technical skills. So that's one area that I would love to focus on, and working directly with colleges for their internship programs to really build the next generation of Supps people. So, I may be also working with some recruiters, and working with some of the brands to have on-site interviews. And I know that's always the hardest thing, getting great talent, and especially in the technical sector of the supplement industry, where you really want that technical knowledge of someone that's working directly with dietary supplements. For example, I always get a ton of requests from recruiters to work in the pharmaceutical industry, because they see on my LinkedIn profile, I worked for Pfizer. I worked for Pfizer Consumer Healthcare under the dietary supplement division. And there's a really big gap between working for pharmaceuticals and then working on dietary supplements. And, it's really hard to make sure you get that good training. So that's, something that you'll probably be seeing in the near future.
Oh, really cool. And we put a lot on mentoring here at Nutrasource as well, have a whole program, and it benefits everyone, the person being mentored and the mentor themselves. So given your experience, having an excellent mentor, now trying to pass that legacy on, what to you is important in mentorship? What are the key things that you try and build into a mentoring program when you're overseeing others?
Yeah, the one thing that I think is really hard for people that have never had a mentor before is the scope of what the mentee is supposed to do. There's tons of articles you can read on the internet, but until you've had someone that could teach you, okay, the mentee should be taking the initiative, should be setting up those one-on-ones on a monthly basis, should be coming prepared with an outline of what they want to talk about, and really helping them to understand that aspect, that, just because I'm your mentor doesn't mean I'm going to tell you everything you need to do without you having to do any work. So one area, that I would like to really ensure that, I'm instilling in the mentees is that you will have to do the work, and sometimes having these hard conversations and providing, difficult feedback to help them grow. So everything is really coming from a place of love and growth, and just really wanting to see them succeed, but also, putting the amount of effort in to the mentee that they're giving to you. So, making sure it's a two-way street.
Yeah, it's very interesting you mentioned the mentorship piece as relates to What's Up with Subs, because one of the things that we talked about for those of us who attended the Supply Side West event and had not attended What's Up with Subs prior to that, what was we were really pleasantly surprised with how many of these next generation people, like some I was introduced to, who are in fairly strategic or significant roles at their company, but they are new to the industry or new to the workforce period, and there is that next generation up and coming. So I found that really interesting, and there were quite a few of them at the event. So how do you bridge that gap to get the word out to them? Because you have your own network, of course, but then to get that next generation engaged and interested, is it the nature of the event, or is it the platform itself and its tools? How do you attract them to these events?
Yeah, so I think it's twofold. It's utilizing a lot of social media, as we're shifting the generation gap. The younger generation is using social media practically for everything, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a really great way to attract new talents. Additionally, looking into my existing network and having my existing network, whether it's my board or whether it's the sponsors, we all know someone, right? You ask someone, okay, do you know that such and such a person? Well, I may not know them, but maybe someone on my board knows someone. So someone always has a guy, right? Or a girl, And I think that's where it's really important to keep building those connections and looking for adjacencies also. So for example, there's a really strong adjacency between dietary supplements and gyms and fitness, right? There's, a lot of sponsored
Sure.
athletes that work for dietary supplement companies that maybe want to get into the brand side of the business and not just be a sponsored athlete. So I also try to look for the adjacencies. I work with a lot of gyms and, a lot of other companies that might be associated with gyms, like wellness clinics or other areas that are adjacent. Additionally, I'm going to start working with some colleges and just really getting the word out there. And what I am trying to accomplish is, just because you're not in the industry right now, if you're interested in it, that's the key. If you're interested and passionate about it, like if you're a sups taker, you have your handful of products, you go to the gym every morning, you live the lifestyle, and that's
Right.
something that I'd like to start bringing into our group. And then also on top of that, just having that passion for the industry and bridging the gaps, almost like pulling back the curtain on the supplement industry for the mainstream consumer. Because as working for a brand in the industry, a lot of the media or the mainstream media will say dietary supplements are not regulated, they're going to kill you. It's really hard to get away from that negative press for
Yes.
the mainstream consumer. And that's one area that I'd like to also highlight through my podcast, is shedding light on, hey, these are the companies that are doing your clinical trials. These are the companies that are testing your products. They've been in the industry for 15, 20 years. Here's all the degrees that they have. And these are the people behind the products that you're taking. So really promoting the health of the industry.
Yeah, and you spoke about brands and sponsors and the health of the industry and pulling back the veil. We talked about how the individual colleagues within the industry have responded to What's Up with Subs. How have the brands and the branded ingredient companies responded to What's Up with Subs?
Yeah, so again, tons of love from the brands and ingredients. I think everyone is realizing that, it's really industry supporting industry, and we all work great together, whether it's collaborating on a product idea, or even just working together on, a different project with raw materials. So, I've had a ton of raw material ingredient suppliers, finished product brand suppliers that have been sponsors. Also, the contract manufacturers are getting involved with sponsorship. So it's really all aspects of the industry, and how we can get these brands names out there that are really doing amazing things. I would love to highlight everyone that's just doing the awesome work in the industry. Just keep it going. And from Informa with all the trade shows they're doing, and Nutra Ingredients with the conferences and summits they're putting on, and just a lot of the work the trade associations are doing. I mean, the trades are just amazing through all this. They
Mhm.
respond to all of the negative news out there, and they work really hard on regulatory policy development. So it's just, so much love for this industry.
Well, absolutely, and obviously Nutrisource, we're very proud sponsors, national sponsors since I think almost day one or very early on, anyhow. So it's been great to be a part of it and just watch it grow. And I've also heard from colleagues of mine in the industry who have attended the events. For some people, in that first wave of COVID, this was the first thing after being locked up or cooped up, so to speak, that they attended with other adults. And I think it was really cool. And I'd love to hear a couple of your stories in this respect. How some people, flew in from out of state or whatever, just for like a 2 hour get together. That's how, just to your point about people need that connectivity in person, togetherness. They need it. And when they don't get it, they'll fly. Their flight time is probably 3 times as long as the actual party time itself, but it didn't matter to them. They had to attend the event and they were thrilled that they did. So I wonder if you have a couple of stories along those lines, because I certainly do.
Yeah, definitely. So the first out of state event that I threw was in March of last year in Fort Lauderdale. And that's when Lauren and I became the dynamic duo in throwing these events. And it was really nice because it was the first national event. It was not in Jersey. There were people that flew in from Chicago, DC, I think even Ohio and Wyoming. So people were actually flying in from all over the country. We had a really great turnout at that event. We had about 90 attendees, and the vibe was amazing. It was beautiful in Fort Lauderdale in March. The rooftop was beautiful. It was overlooking Las Olas, and just the vibe was really fun because it was non-competitive. It was people kind of like the first event running across to the other side of the event saying, I can't believe you're here. We celebrated a birthday at that event, and it was just a lot of people really reconnecting. And at that point, everyone was like, I will go to these events wherever they are. So it was nice. We had really great sponsors that gave out really cool swag, which is also another big thing of mine. I want to make sure everyone gets their like little goodie bag. It's just something that you guys are coming to these events, and I want to make it the most amazing experience for you. I want everyone to just walk away being like, that was so amazing. I want to go back again.
Mhm. Yeah, I think mission accomplished. Yes. I'll never forget the Vegas event, that's for sure. Just because it was so unique and it had a really nice artistic aspect to it too. I think people enjoy that. But no, they enjoy that and remember that clearly. Now, beyond the events and the mentorship, is there any other merchandising or anything into the future that you might be looking at doing? Because I really like the logo and the colors as well. I think the branding is really sharp.
Oh, thank you. I love things that are striking. I love really like that striking dynamic look. And It was back in the summer of 2020 where I was working on the logo, and I asked a few people I knew in the industry who could really create a really amazing logo for me. And I was hoping it would be someone that's worked in the industry before to really keep supporting, our industry. And I started working with Todd Pauly. I think a lot of you guys know him. He's done a lot of great work for brands in the industry, and it was really a really quick take. He had a sense of what I wanted. I told him I wanted really dynamic, really striking. I wanted the black on it because I just love, how things look against black and bright colors. So I think we will be doing some more stuff with merch, and I have a few ideas for some merch. I don't think it's going to be ready for Expo West in time. It might, but we'll definitely have some really cool merch for Supply Side East in April.
Super. And then Diane, just one last item here as we wrap up. When we're talking about uh, the network and us as a collective group and your board and the sponsors, it's a strong network, and everybody kind of knows everybody, or knows, is 1 degree of separation at the most removed from the other person. What about if you're new to the industry, brand new? What would you say to those people who might be maybe a little tired, nervous, not necessarily nervous, but a little bit shy about coming out to a What's Up with Supps event, as being sort of like a newbie and not yet one of the cool kids? How do you let people know that it's open to them as well?
Yeah. So one thing I really want to stress is anyone that's new to the industry, please reach out to me. I love talking to new people. I will love to take you under my wing and show you every aspect of the industry, introduce you to everybody that you want to meet, or if there's a specific category you're looking for. So please reach out to me either via email or through LinkedIn, or find me on Instagram or Facebook. And I'm sure you have all that information. We can link it. But definitely, I would love to help newbies come into the industry and just really make those connections, because we all need somebody to show us the way. It's really hard making it in just like the workplace, but also in life in general. If you don't have someone that's looking out for you, if you don't have someone to lean on, that's, it's hard to do it by yourself. And when you have people around it, it skyrockets everything so much faster. So, for example, and this is where I keep going back to mentorship. So, for example, if you're looking to get something in the food store, say, specialty coffee, like, and then you're like, okay, I've never been to the store. I don't know where it is in the aisle. You can go up and down aisles looking for that coffee. Maybe it'll take you like 20 minutes until you find it. But if you just go into the same store and ask one of the workers, hey, I'm looking for this new Starbucks flavor coffee. Can you point me to where it is? Let's say, okay, go to aisle 4, in and out in less than 5 minutes, maybe. So that's really the benefit of having a mentor or someone to take you under their wing, is you're accelerating your path because of someone helping you out.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Diana, thank you so much. Really appreciate the time today. Thanks for sharing all your enthusiasm for the industry, for What's Up with Supps, and you're a real inspiration for all of us. So, really want to thank you once again.
Oh, anytime, Will, anytime. I am a huge fan of Nutrasource, and I thank you for all the great work that you're doing at Nutrasource and just throughout the industry, and for all of your support with What's Up with Subs from the very beginning.
Well, you're welcome, and we're happy to be involved. Thank you.